adverse recommendations to ISPAC? Utajitetea ama tuendelee?
Honorable Chair, we will correct the error, Honorable Chair.
Now, I'm feeling a bit frustrated. We started by analyzing the problems you're facing. It is not financial management, it is financial mismanagement. And the evidence is here before us. The accounting officer was required to establish, to appoint a project manager to lead and coordinate the transition. Who is a project manager who was appointed? Governor.
Sami Kirui.
Where is Sami?
His child was sick and he took the child to the hospital.
Was a committee established? A transition steering committee established?
Yes.
Who chairs that committee?
CC Finance.
CC Finance. So CC Finance, are you also a member of ISPAC?
Yes, I am.
What's your membership number?
25891.
And that also now places you in a position of professional responsibility.
Yes.
Because if you are, governors like appointing politicians as CC. Is the CEO also a member of ISPAC? Chief Officer?
Yes.
You're a member of ISPAC?
Yes.
So you also have a professional responsibility?
Yes.
Nyinyi wote WhatsApp group moja, tunawatuma kwa ISPAC. You must be, action must be taken. Because you cannot do financial statements with 10 inaccuracies and then blame it on the transition.
Chair, but Chief Officer did not indicate his ISPAC number in financial statements. I thought you are not. It was not indicated in financial statements. Bernard Koske is the only one who indicated his ISPAC number to be 6069.
I think he's the one who's mandated to disclose his number. But I think from this interrogation, we have established that the CEO is a professional, the CEC is a professional, and I think we must deal with it from that perspective. But that does not take away the fact that the Senate is not convinced that these resources were applied lawfully and prudently, and will make those recommendations.
So, now, Chair, I think, Governor, you have seen where people have capacity to do their job, but they are not doing it. So it goes back to my earlier observation on these inaccuracies, because if the Chief Officer and Director of Accounting Services were signing, it looks like the generators of this were never keen on what was being done. So I think, Chair, I agree with you that let the ISPAC cite them for professional misconduct.
Do you have an audit committee?
We do, Chair.
Is the chair of your audit committee here?
No.
I had someone introduce themselves as internal auditor.
Yes.
Where is the internal auditor? That's a secretary to the audit committee, isn't it? Where is the internal auditor?
He's not here, Chair.
But I thought someone introduced themselves as internal auditor in this delegation. Did you come with them? Did you come with an internal auditor?
No, I didn't come with an internal auditor.
Please, next time you are coming for this exercise, make sure the chair of your audit committee is here and your internal auditor is here. Because we would like to ask them certain questions. Why they've allowed or why they have presided over a situation where there are so many inaccuracies in financial reporting that we cannot tell whether the financial statements represent a true and fair picture of the entity. So we will... I think we'll make our recommendations appropriately.
Chair, maybe also, Governor, you have to note that one of the substantive audit queries is understaffing of the internal audit unit. So, up to this time, maybe off the record, Governor, is now this issue resolved, the understaffing of internal audit unit? Is it now in place? Is it functional? Is there minutes to prove that they have been sitting and doing their job? Because if internal audit unit was functional, Governor, some of these issues would have not been escalated to the Senate. Maybe you can resolve.
Governor?
Chair,
We had declared positions in that department and even advertised, but somebody went to court and stopped. But we have since cleared with a court case. But by the time we were clearing, the Public Service Board term had expired. And in the next 2 weeks, the Assembly will be able to clear because I have submitted names.
So you don't have an internal auditor?
No, we have an internal auditor by the name Penat Cheriot.
So the advertisement was for?
For extra staff, understaffing. That's what has been noted by the auditors, that that department was understaffed. So we wanted to add the numbers within that department, auditors.
Okay, let's take it one step further. You have mentioned the County Public Service Board. Do you have a functional County Public Service Board?
The one that we are having expired in the month of December, and we have advertised, and the new board will be submitted to the Assembly on Wednesday next week.
But they were in office for 6 years.
Yes.
Presiding over the mess, we have 4 pages. So we had 5 pages of financial mismanagement. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 5 pages of human resource mismanagement. So that is the report form for the outgoing County Public Service Board. Is the HR director here?
Yes.
HR director, are you a member of the institute? So you also have a professional responsibility. The county secretary?
It's not here.
Why? I thought he's the head of the county public service and you have 5 pages of HR issues.
I think we have the CEO Public Service and the HR Director. I think they should be in a position to respond to the specific queries on HR.
Do you have a county secretary?
We do.
And is in the county secretary the head of the county public service?
He is.
So what is the reason why the county secretary is not here?
There's no reason as to why he should not be here, but I thought...
Or he's not loyal?
He is chair. But I have the CEO Public Service and the HR Director who should be able to respond to the specific questions.
HR Director, why should we... Is there any reason why we should not cite you for professional negligence and malpractice? Because the issues that are in this report, irregular payment of salaries and personal allowances, irregular payment of special house allowance, irregular payment of extraneous allowance, irregular payment of special salaries, irregular payment of non-practicing allowance, overpayment of basic salary, irregular payment of responsibility allowance. Are these responsibilities of the HR director or these are responsibilities of someone else sitting in payroll?
Okay, it's true, Chair, that those are the responsibilities of Director HR.
So, did you see this report before you came to the Senate?
Yes, I did, sir.
Are there any explanations to justify these irregularities?
Okay, Chair, I saw the report and I think my response as the Director HR is what I've indicated there. It's true that some of those allowances were actually not supposed to have been paid in the first place. And that's why we've taken corrective measures.
They were paid under your watch?
Okay, let me put it this way, that they were paid under the Director HR. At that time, I was not in the office. There was someone else.
When did you assume office?
I think I'm 2 to 3 months old in the office.
Because, members, if you are going to go through these things, these irregularities, issue by issue, one by one, we'll be here up to 6 o'clock. We must just decide who carries the cross.
Yeah, maybe the governor can confirm. Who was the person in office at the material time? Is he still with the county?
No, he retired.
But out of curiosity, if he has retired, why didn't we go with some of the people I can see you have 27 employees who consume 3.0 million, and they had achieved an age of 60 years, but was still appearing in the June 2025 payroll. Why didn't you send him in 27? It is in audit query number 9, page 10. There were 27 employees who had attained the age of 60 and had not retired. It was still appearing in the payroll. Maybe director of HR. What was the issue here? You had paid 3.0 million to 27 employees who are over 60. But the director retired. What was the issue here? Through the chair. That is page 10, audit number 9 of the OAG report.
Retention of staff?
No, retention of staff beyond mandatory retirement age.
Chair, all these conversations around the professionals in Bomet could be appointed to a problem with the hiring process. That it is clear that competence is not what informs how people end up in these offices. Because how is it possible that going through all these professionals, from the accountants to the HR professionals, they are making very basic professional mistakes? Who are these people, Governor? Where do you find them?
Chair, some of these people, the 27 that has been mentioned, include my deputy governor, include public service board members that had fixed contract. You could not terminate before the expiry of the 6 years. I have also my advisors, around 3-4 of them, who have also, I brought them when they were still, they were under 60.
What do those people do? What sort of advice do they render? Is it what is the dominant community in Bomet? Are they advising you on the local culture? What? I mean, why do you need Wazes to advise you?
A professor. And he's a professor.
Chair, I don't think we can describe Wazes to be useless. They are still
nobody has said that. We just want you to tell us what advice do those Wazes render?
It depends on their area, because we have legal advisor, economic advisor, and so forth. So they are lined.
Chair, allow me.
Maybe, sorry, Bambua, can I come before you?
You go, yes.
Governor, I thought you are around 3 advisors as per the law, which they are above 60, the board. But the number is too huge, is 27.
Yes, Chair, I agree. Because when the payrolls was pulled out, there were around 11 or 14 ECD teachers that were not active. They are not earning any salary, but they were captured like they are earning salary. Out of the 27, I think we have around 14 of them.
So how many remain? That is 16.
Yeah, and then
So
I have public service board members. I have my advisors, three of them.
And the deputy
governor? I have the deputy governor.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to confirm to us that these 3 advisors are not advising you on the local culture? They're advising you on economy, on...
These are my advisors as advised by the SRC.
Okay. You know, we had a governor from Turkana who had advice to advise him on Turkana culture, yet he's a Turkana. So that clarity should come out very clear. I yield back, Chair.
Maybe they're advising him on how to be the kingpin.
But Professor Barachoka has never expressed he wants to be a kingpin. At least I know that for a fact.
Can you confirm that?
Maybe tomorrow, Chair, but...
Chair, just some clarification. This total amount that we are speaking about, because you said there's 5 pages of HR issues, I think we should not lose track of the figures that are involved. Correct. I don't know what the total comes to OAG, because I can see 48 million on irregular payment of salaries and personal allowances, 14 million on special house allowance, 2.4 million on irregular payment of extraneous allowance, Special salaries, 2.8 million. What is the total? Another 1.18 million on non-practicing allowance. Uniform allowance, 4.2 million. Responsibility allowance, 1.3 million. What is the total amount you are querying?
The total is that one in the first paragraph. That is 48 million, 181 million, 528 shillings.
That includes all these other ones that you have spoken to?
Yes,
Okay.
it covers all that.
Chair, can I?
Chair.
Sorry.
Now, Governor, I don't know, Chair, you are talking about 5 pages. You know, I have 11. I don't know, maybe I'll look at the different documents.
11 on HR.
Yes, and I'm wondering that if you're going to even have a conversation, Governor, on HR issues, what conversation would that be? Would it be a conversation on what has gone wrong or whether there is anything that has gone right? Because surely from these documents here, everything in HR has gone wrong. Anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. From payment of salaries to payment of allowances, to house allowances, to
Promotions.
recruitment, promotions, to non-practicing allowance, special salaries again, overpayment of basic salary, payment of responsibility allowance. I mean, everything, including recruitment of staff, everything has gone wrong in HR. And Governor, I have just consulted Senator Sifuna to be sure that you're actually serving your second term. So unlike your HR director who can hide under the phrase, "It wasn't me," the buck stops at your door. How could you preside over a county in such a mess? I mean, you have what, 1.5 years to live? Even if you are to give it your best, I don't see how you're going to correct all this. It means, Chair, from the look of things, that the HR in Bomet is completely in a mess. That's my submission.
Chair, in addition, Governor, this regular engagement of casual workers that was consuming 119 million and 081,002, maybe you can give us the number and who are these people, and whether now that we are questioning around the human resource issues within your county, is there a transition, Governor, to ensure, that will be my second question, to ensure that they are transited into permanent and pensionable? And if it is the municipality workers, have you given them the autonomy to hire maybe cleaners, people who do cleaning services within your municipalities, either in Bomet, Sotik, and many other urban centers? So these 119 million on casual workers through the chair, who are these people and what are they doing? And then, you know, there should be a career progression. Are you giving them PNP after some time, or they are just there? And finally, this county public service board that left office, you have seen there is a lot of mess. Were you working together? Because it looks like they decided, this county public service board that left, they decided to create a mess in your human resource. Were you working together, or they were doing their own thing to ensure they mess your county government? My two questions, Chair.
I think even before you respond, the 119 million on casual workers, this we must query. This one we must deal with. It cannot be sorted through a global, conversation, because the Auditor General says 119 million was incurred on casual wages. Payment to the casuals were made to the heads of departments on a monthly basis, but the payments were not accounted for by the departmental heads. You know, this we must deal with. So Senator Chirage, you brought it up, but I think this we must deal with and look at the evidence that is supplied. The other thing that we must deal with on this HR is on the treatment of ECD teachers. I think under HR, those are the two issues that we can drill down on. Then the rest, we shall just make the stiffest recommendations possible to clear the mess. So, would you want the governor to first respond, or we go to the two specific issues?
So maybe the governor can note so that I don't need to come back.
Okay, Chair, I know I wish he could just point me to just one aspect in HR that's working, just one. I mean, that would lighten my day.
Chair, thank you very much, and I've noted the concerns of the members, but I want to say, Chair, cleaning of payroll is a continuous exercise, and for the record, Chair, where we started was worse than this. So, from my own analysis and where I sit, as much as we are not 100%, there are a lot of improvements. Because, Chair, I will tell you, where there were post workers in my payroll, people who are being paid, and they are not giving services to the people of Bomet. We have had around 3 major cleanups of our payrolls with the assistance of consultants. But still, there are still things that are still outstanding, which to me, from my own assessment, and from where we started, Chair, I think we are almost there, except for these small things that are still coming up, popping up. Even these special salaries. It is one thing that I thought we had cleared because it came from our interaction with the consultant that we had engaged, and with the assistance of the Ministry of Public Service. We cleared quite a number, but still, Chair, as I've said, cleaning of payroll is a continuous. Even in Parliament, I want to believe that is the same story. National government, that is the same story. But we are committed to ensure that we have proper remuneration of our people. Everybody should be given his entitlement in terms of the packages that they are entitled to, and services are also given to our people, because we don't want to have people in our payroll that are drawing salaries and they are not giving services to our people. So, Chair, we are not 100%, but there is something that we have done about the same. There is something that we are doing today about the same. Even this audit is not about fault finding. It's one way of strengthening our systems. So this discovery has strengthened me to ensure that I have control on this HR. Otherwise, what we will be doing here will be not making any sense. No, so the reason why I'm seated before you, Chair, today is because I want to strengthen my HR, how I'm managing the finances and so forth, and be transparent and accountable to the resources that have been given.
Governor, the evidence on the paper is to the contrary. But now that you have cleared ghosts from your payroll, how many employees do you have?
Total numbers here? Public service board, public service.
Chair, good morning. My name is Paul Mutai, Chief Officer, Public Service. We have 3,700 employees currently.
And casuals?
Those are total.
Inclusive of casuals?
Yes, inclusive of casuals.
So who are the ones who are on a permanent basis? What's the number that's on permanent basis?
It should be about 3,600 something.
3,000?
We'll have to confirm. 600? Yes.
In your staff establishment, what is the ideal number of employees that you should have?
We have been working with the help of KTSP on the ideal staff establishment, because we realize what was there may not be ideal, and it will be there about 5,000 maximum, 5,600.
5,000. Your wage bill is already at 48%.
That's true.
So if you double the number of employees, everything that comes to Bomet will go to salaries.
Establishment before was over 10,000, so we are, in order to bring it down to around 5,000. It doesn't mean we'll fill all those positions.
Okay, let's come back to what's...
Chair, I'd like to make a comment as I go about the issue before you give your recommendations on the variances on the payroll. It is true that what we should take, and probably the AOG will agree with me, is that on the 3.5 billion in the financial statements against schedules of 3.515. I did what we should take. The correct one would be the schedule, the 3.515. So it will look like there's an error in some payments not finding its way to the financial statements or being reclassified in the financial statement to another caption. We would like to look at that. So
Governor,
it's not alarming because the schedule should be the most correct because it gives you item by item, name by name, who was paid, how much was paid. So if the schedule is summing up to 3.15 and the financial statement is 3.5, clearly the financial statements will not be correct. So we will sit down with the team in Treasury and do a quick.
I think you should be sitting on this side, not on that side, because you know what the problem is. Why didn't you advise the team preparing the responses to do the right thing?
Sorry, Chair. Sometimes we learn, and going forward, we will not find those glaring errors.
Yeah, because you have said exactly what we have said,
Yes.
and that is advice that should have been put into practice as you are, bringing your responses to the Senate.
And lastly, Chair, on the several issues you have raised regarding payments, allowances to staff. We had a meeting the other week with His Excellency the Governor, and we have agreed we're going to remove all those allowances, and we were going to recover those that were paid irregularly.
Okay, fine. Now let's deal with specific things. We have been dealing with global issues. Let's see how you are dealing with ECD teachers, and then casuals. Patrick?
Chairman, arising from what that submission by the HR director,
CEO Public Service Board.
Yes. He has said that they are going to recover what has been irregularly paid. But here you realize that from the report of 23-24, we had, the OAG had raised 27 paragraphs which are outstanding. Out of that, your committee gave 30 recommendations. And Chair, the auditors are saying they have circularized those recommendations to the entity, but they don't have a response. So when he says they are going to implement, Chair, maybe your committee can call upon them to respond to the report of 23-24 early enough before you do the report for 24-25.
Governor, can you confirm that you received from the Auditor General that matrix on Senate recommendations?
We did, Chair, and I think we have a status report on the same. Yes.
But the auditor says that you have not acknowledged receipt. I think it's important and formal to do the acknowledgement so that they know that you are working on the recommendations.
We will, Chair, because we have the report.
Fine. So you guys seem to know what should be done, but you're not doing it. That's a problem. You sound very knowledgeable. You have people who understand what should be done, but the evidence on the paper is different. Let's see how you are treating ECD teachers. Auditor General, you had some non-compliance on payment of salaries to ECD teachers. Read it out.
Thank you, Chair. Non-compliance to salaries and remuneration guidelines for early childhood development and education teachers. Review of records revealed that 1,317 ECD teachers were paid special salaries amounting to 154 million shillings, 633,647. However, the teachers were not mapped into the correct grading structure based on their qualifications. This was contrary to the SRC circular referenced number SRC/TS/24/6 dated 13th January 2021, which requires ECD teachers to be mapped into the correct grading structure based on their qualifications. Further, the appointment letters outlined earnings broken down into basic salary, house allowance, and commute allowance. However, these were not properly mapped into the HRIS system, and the ECD teachers did not automatically progress according to established salary scales. In the circumstance, management was in breach of the SRC guidelines. Thank you, Chair.
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, the approved job evaluation, grading, and remuneration structure for the early childhood development and education teachers 13 on my response, page 13 of 37. You're there? Okay. So, Honorable Chair, the approved job evaluation, grading, and remuneration structure for early childhood development and education teachers and caregivers, grade C1 through an SRC circular reference number SRC stock TS stock JE stock CG stock 3 stock 33 stock 6 volume 30 of 10 December 2021, which is attached as Annex 4.1, has now been adopted by the county government of Bomet. That circular and dated 2nd February 2024, which is also attached as Annex 4.2. The IBBD system and its successor, HRIS, as set up, does not provide for separate job grading model. This means that the job groups in the system is not equivalent and does not tally with the grading used in the scheme for service for ECD assistance. However, to ensure that the staff under this code are paid, the management adopted the use of special salary. The management have since been in touch with the Department of Public Service Management for systems intervention that will ensure the staff in question are paid with proper earnings headings. So I will give to my CC to give further clarification.
I think let's first ask the Auditor General whether that response makes sense. Auditor General.
Chair, the issue has not been addressed.
Governor, when you talk of, let's just put this into context, because you have 1,300 ECD teachers. The teachers would have different qualifications. That's what the auditor is saying here. What would be those? Would there be degree holders, diploma holders, certificate holders? Can you explain it for us?
Correct, Chair. We have different categories. We have certificate holders, we have diploma, and we have degree.
They are supposed to be paid differently based on qualification.
As per the advisory that we received from SRC.
So, for example, a degree holder who's an ECD teacher is entitled to how much? What gross salary?
140 minimum.
Okay, as per the SRC.
Get a microphone, and for Hansard purposes, reintroduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. I'm the CC in charge of education. I'm Agnes Ngeno, the CC in charge of education, youth, sports, and vocation training. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Concerning the ECD teachers, we have 1,317. We have those who have the certificate. We also have those who have the diploma, and we also have those who are having the degree. As by the circular that you were given, that is dated 2021, December 2021, we were supposed to pay as by the SRC. And we also received another one that we were given in 2023, which was actually giving us that as by the counties to pay, depending on the availability of funds. As the county government of Bomet, we started paying them last year, 2024, whereby we started paying. We have not actually met the relevant or the minimum value that is supposed to be paid, but last year we started paying, whereby we have given the certificate, they are earning 16,364. We have the diploma, they are earning 317.
Sorry?
22,000 diploma, 22,317. We have the degree, they are earning 28,024. That is what they are earning last year. But the incremental month is January. So this year, 2026, the certificate will be earning 19,000. We put them in 3 phases so that by the end of beginning 2027, they will be as per what SRC requires us to pay. So in January 2027, a certificate holder will be earning 22,000, which is the minimum as per the SRC.
So the auditor saying is that you have not mapped them into correct grading structure based on their qualifications, but you have explained that you are paying them differently based on qualifications. So where does that put this audit observation?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. The auditor has actually mentioned that one, but we actually have the annex that you are actually, the circular that you are given. We also have the agreement that is, as we started, by the cabinet and agree. So we have also the schedule that we actually draft into 3 phases, whereby we have phase 1, 3,000, phase 2, we have also another 3,000, then phase 3, we have 4,000.
Was it in the evidence you
Maybe
need?
let
The
me
evidence you need?
assist her.
Yes.
The observation that was made by the auditors is actually correct, because when you look at the pay slip of an ECD teachers, it's just a figure aggregated into one. But it's expected that they should have house allowance, probably commuter allowance, and the basic salary. But how this system has been configured, when you pay less than the amount that is meant for that job group, how the system will treat it is just aggregate all of it to be one. But when you see the appointment letters, we have segregated into basic, house allowance, and maybe commuter allowance. So because we are underpaying our ECD teachers, that is why we have this problem.
Now, the evidence that we really wanted is even, something just to demonstrate that indeed a graduate ECD teacher in Bomet is earning 28,024, and this is the evidence. And a certificate ECD teacher is earning 16,364. Because when we read this audit finding, it gives the impression that whether it's graduate, diploma, or certificate, they're earning the same pay.
Not true, Chair. In fact, that's why I mentioned earlier on that we have made a lot of improvement, because when we came in 2018, irrespective of your qualification, the pay was the same. Certificate, diploma, degree. They were earning around 9,000? 9,000 flat.
9,000.
Irrespective of your qualification. But what we have done, as reported by my CEC, is currently we have 16,000 for certificate, 22,000 for diploma, and 28,000 for degree. And we are doing annual increment. We have 15 teachers degree. 15? Degree, yes, 18. So by January 2027, they will be earning over 40,000. And then for diploma, they will be earning a minimum of 28,000. And then for certificate, they will be earning a minimum of 22. So it's only because we have been constrained by resources. Otherwise, they are entitled to this pay, because that is the advisory that we have received from SRC.
Senator Wambua?
Chair, Governor, I think there are 2 questions there. There's a question of a grading structure based on qualification. Yeah? Certificate, diploma, degree. But there's a question of the breakdown of the earnings, where whether diploma, certificate, or degree, then there's a requirement that you break it down, basic salary, X amount of money, house allowance, X amount of money, commuter, all that. And I think those are the issues that are being queried. Have I received a proper response on that?
Yes. Yeah, I think I've responded to that. When you see the appointment letters for these teachers, that segregation is there. And even we have gone up to the people who are in charge of the system and requested, because the teachers have been complaining that they need to see their commuter allowance, they need to see their house allowance. So when we went to the people who are in charge of the system, they told us the problem is because you are underpaying your teachers. So once you're given a job group, your name is loaded to the system. It should be able to generate what you are entitled to based on your job group. because we have not paid the minimum that is required for that job group. That is why we just have a kind of a lump sum value that is paid monthly to our ECD teachers. Otherwise,
That's okay. That's okay, Governor.
Yeah,
Then,
yes.
then the other question would be, the circular by SRC. Does it suggest a minimum, or it leaves it open-ended?
it suggests a minimum. And also, there is also a line where we've been advised, based on availability of resources, you can start where you can
What's
afford.
the minimum? Because this 16,000 sounds like a minimum, the general minimum wage.
The minimum is 22 for certificate.
For certificate.
And then diploma is 28. Diploma is 30. 20,
Diploma is 28.
diploma is 28. And then degree
It's 34.
34.
You know, Senator Wambua, we are getting something wrong as a society. These are the people who teach the most delicate, the most vulnerable, the most malleable. I look at my little child and I respect the teacher who teaches that boy how to write, how to count, how to speak. But you see, as a society, see how we are treating our ECD teachers. And I know it's not a Bomet problem, it's a societal problem. 28,000 is perhaps below the salaries that some of you pay for your house girls and even for your gardeners. And yet as a society, we have now normalized it, that these people who teach the most special age in humanity, we pay them 16,000. It's a salute to these people, these 1,300, that they can still report to work every day with this kind of pay. How I wish we could rethink this, and I think we need to have this conversation.
Tell me, just refresh my mind, because did we not develop a scheme of service for ECD teachers?
But you can see that it's still subject to SRC recommendations and subject to availability of funds.
I thought we had ECD bill in
place. We are treating, and this must be a national conversation on how we treat our ECD teachers. The other conversation would be to capitalize the expenditure on ECD teachers. Because I know that's where governors fear, that when they pay more, it increases their wage bill. But surely, of all the functions that are devolved, health, water, roads, for me the most special is early childhood education. Because you get that wrong, those children are lost for the rest of their lives. And that's a sacred duty that has been placed in the hands of governors.
Each year, the consideration for remuneration for ECD teachers, I don't think it would be proper for anybody to reduce it to a conversation about the wage bill. Much as we have to be careful about it, but there are other cadres of staff that earn a lot more and push the wage bills for counties. I want to agree with you, Chair. I think there is a need for a conversation, a serious conversation, about what counties need to do for ECD teachers. And actually, the entire ECD program. That, you know, I meet governors and people working in county governments who talk about ECD centers. And when you go to visit the things that they call ECD centers, I mean, it's just classrooms. There are no centers at all. We need to begin to focus a lot more on laying a better, stronger foundation for the education of our children.
Chair,
Senator Cherokee?
Maybe, in fact, I think Bomet is trying, because Nandi is worst in terms of handling ECT teachers. In my own assessment, I think at least we are paying up to 34 for a degree. Nandi is doing a half of this, which is a sorry state. Number two, Governor, just for clarity, this 1,370 ECD teachers, are all of them on the permanent and pensionable? Number one. Number two, how do you handle? I've seen you have school feeding program through provision of milk. How do you handle to ensure that there is retention and attendance by the children? And number three, in my county, the county government said that they were building ECD centers. But when the governor is opening those ECD centers, it's just a rule. But from the approval by the Nandi County Assembly, they passed a development of ECD center where you have a pollution block, you have a classroom, you have a teacher's quarters, and you have a sleeping area, especially for the young ones. So describe to us, and finally, Chair, what is your opinion as a governor, sitting also in Council of Government? Because I saw a circular by the Ministry of Education through the Principal Secretary of Basic Education requiring to abolish separate diploma training for early childhood development education teachers and merge it with diploma in primary teacher education, DPTE. This circular that was issued by Ministry of Education directing that you need to merge the training of teachers, including the ECD, because to us it is trying to undermine and claw back the issue of devolved functions, because the ECD is a domain of the county government's chair. So I think this issue of, in conclusion, Chair, as a parliament, we must still rethink on this aspect on how we can support our ECD teachers, because I agree with you, these are people who teach, apart from even teaching them to write and read, they teach them even the use of toilet, how to mannerism, how to dress. It's not something, they are more than, in fact, in my own opinion,
we have outsourced our children to ECD teachers.
Yeah, we have outsourced technically. Most of us wake up by 5, you just throw your child into the bus until you see them maybe late in the evening. And they are taught how to be disciplined, how to dress, how to use toilets, chair. I think ECD teachers should be even paid more than us who are in senior public officers, Chair. I think these are conversations that should not end here. Even when you table our recommendations, Chair, please, let's bring to the attention of the Senate so that we can resolve. Our ECD teachers are now left at the mercy of circulars. You can see the Ministry of Education is telling them now, no. Don't train them independently. Can you merge it with teacher training curriculum of primary school teachers? You know, they have just been thrown. You go, your county is paying differently. You come to Nandi, is different. You come to Nairobi, is different. And the still living standards of Nairobi is totally different from Bomet, from Nandi, from Homa Bay. So, Chair, I agree with you that we must have a conversation as a country on the role of our ICD teachers going into the future. So, if the governor answers on my two questions, I yield back.
Answer, Governor. I don't know whether you have numbers. What's the starting salary for a driver in the county? The starting salary for a driver.
Okay, a new driver is employed at job group D. And I think there's a salary of around 25,000.
25,000?
Yes.
The only qualification he has is a driving license?
Yes.
And this person has a certificate, has gone to school, is taking care of the most vulnerable. We are paying them 16,000. I don't know who should be, in terms of hierarchy, I think we are getting it wrong. And it's something that the Senate will have to work with the Council and with the relevant government agencies. We must change this perception. I know the Education Committee is carrying out some inquiry at the moment. I don't know whether these are some of the things that are being addressed there.
Yes, Chair, actually, we met some stakeholders from the ECD sector, in addition to the Council of Governor Chair, I believe Chair of Bomet, Governor of Bomet County, on this particular matter.
The gentleman sitting here?
No, sorry. It's not Bomet, sorry, Kericho.
Kericho?
Yes.
Yeah, because he looks surprised.
Yes, on the matter of merging the qualifications for ECD and the pre-primary. And it is a national concern because in our view, we hold the view that is just clawing back on the mandate of governors, and particularly on the mandate of ECD, on the function of ECD. And it's the view of the committee that ECD is a very critical aspect and should not just be left to be merged with whatever qualifications that the PS thinks about. And we have a follow-up meeting, I believe next week, to deliberate more. In fact, the COG is of the view that if the committee is of the view that the PS should withdraw that circular, failure to which the COG goes to court.
But is the committee also addressing the variations in pay across the counties on ECD teachers?
Yes, we are looking into that.
Yeah, we must level up. We must level up. It's unacceptable.
Council, through the chair, just what happened to that scheme of service? Did we pass it for ECD teachers?
Yes, we did pass the scheme of service, but as the governor has said, many a times it's left at the mercy of availability of funds.
Why should that be the case? I'm just wondering. I mean, if it's a scheme of service that has been passed by Parliament, it's like telling me then we have a scheme of service for teachers under TSC, and the TSC decides we'll pay you depending on availability of funds. I mean,
I know their challenge has been that wage bill, because they say they'll come here and we'll bash them on wage bill. But what is spent on an ECD teacher, what is spent on a doctor or a nurse, should never be caught up in this wage bill conversation, because they are delivering very, very essential service. And I don't know, the accountants are here. In terms of classification of expenditure, we might get to a point where we are saying that expenditure on ECD teachers, expenditure on doctors and nurses should not be used to compute wage bill. So that wage bill becomes the secretariat in the county, rather than because it's not, if you go for capacity building, the input is a capacity builder. So that's like a product. If you go to an ECD center, the input is that instructor. It's not the building. I mean, you can't do anything just with the building and the chairs. The instructor must be there. And so the expenditure, going forward, we must find a way of classifying it as development. That way, we can insist that the minimum, as per the grade of service, must be observed. And I'd be happy if we progress this conversation, because I am embarrassed. And yet, Bomet is one of the counties doing well. But the numbers are still very embarrassing.
Chair, let me congratulate you first for that voice. If there is one person who has been very vocal about the welfare of these teachers, as much as I've not done as expected of me, it is Barchok. Because as you have described, Chair, ECD teacher is more than a teacher. He's a legal officer, he's a health professional, because it is through ECD that we make assessments and channel the children. If we have special needs, they are channeled to the right school, the proper school where they can get education. So he's a social worker, because sometimes they report to school and the first thing that they tell the teacher in the morning is that they didn't take breakfast or they didn't take supper. And out of the small earnings, the Miyaka earnings that the teacher is earning, probably they will purchase Kankumu for this child. So I totally agree. In fact, my position has been an ECD teacher should be paid more than a high school teacher, because high school teacher is dealing with adults. But this one is dealing with young children, and these young children depend 100% on this teacher. So I think I totally agree with your sentiments, Chair, that I think we should start a conversation on this issue. Take care of the welfare of these teacher who is giving foundation to our children. And if we have proper treatment, correct treatment, then you can be sure that your child will be in safe hands. So I totally agree, Chair.
So, Chair, why can then we propose that instead of Governor Bomet having that individual personal concern, why can't you escalate that conversation within your colleagues in COG? Then we have a meeting, Chair.